Please prove me wrong. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 2 of High Rise Invasion. So, yeah. This is kind of a preview for this slot switching with the Wednesday slots. But also I'm just choosing to have this here this week when, we didn't do any reactions Monday through Thursday. Because this is, I think, a good point as a proving point for this series. Because here's the thing. We only reacted to episode 1 so far. But I didn't like it. Almost at all. It was just not good. It started at the wrong point. It gave us way too many questions. It was really poorly paced. The writing and dialogue was terrible. It was just not good. And it left me like almost amused by how bad it was. But also just acknowledging that, yeah, this isn't good, and this... I don't like watching shows that aren't good, even if they're like amusingly good. A movie, it's like, okay, with friends and stuff that can be fun, but a show, it's like you got to go through even just 12 episodes of that. It's like, ugh. Not that easy and not that enjoyable to do. So, I decided we're going to at least give this one more shot. One more episode before we fully judge. Because it might have just been first episode jitters. Might have just been an issue with the first episode. Maybe it'll get better. But it has to get better here. Because the first episode was that bad to me. And I know it's all subjective and everything, and I want to make that clear. It's my opinion. If you like the first episode, if you like the series, that's fine. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just sharing my thoughts. What I got from my experience watching it. Like, I didn't know exactly what to expect going into this, but I thought it would be a lot better than that. Hopefully this episode proves me wrong. We are introduced at the very end of the last episode to a new character, this blonde girl who seems to have no qualms about killing. Unlike our main character who's so flip-floppy, it's hard to tell what she's thinking. So maybe the new dynamic will help it a little bit. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm really hoping to be proven wrong. But if not, I am prepared to replace this. So I'm just telling you right now, I already am prepared for that. Hopefully it ends up proving me wrong, though. That is always the hope. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect. I'm just going to go into this and hope for the best. And we'll see where it goes after the fact. So join me in seeing if episode 2 of High Rise Invasion can save this series for me. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday, as well as Let's Plays. We currently alternate between Horizon Forbidden West and Baldur's Gate 3 every day, as well as have Nier Automata on Saturdays. And don't forget to follow the link in the description below to today's reaction. I do redirect all reactions just due to copyright. And on top of that, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content like this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get to today's reaction. And we're back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I went back on it just to make sure I wasn't crazy. And, after waking up and noticing the boots and everything, she says, "The gun is gone. Did Mayuko trade the boots for it?" She acknowledges she does not have the gun. And when it shows Mayuko come out of the bathroom, it shows her having the gun. Where the fuck did the gun that she had on the bridge come from then? That's not just like some continuity mistake. That's not just some like weird issue that they overlooked. That's a major mistake. Because any kind of weapon in this kind of world is a major tool necessary for survival. You cannot make a mistake like that in a series like this. On top of that, this episode like ended 2 or 3 times. Like the halfway point of this episode was absolutely portrayed as an ending. Yet the episode just continued because why the fuck not? And we're introduced to this random, I'm calling them a murder family, even though I don't think they were necessarily connected in any way like that. But it's like, it's just another example of the pacing of this being absolute dog shit. Just completely terrible. Because it's like, you're gonna end the episode like halfway through. Like literally, the music, the visuals, everything about it read as an ending. But then it continues. It shows a pitiful excuse for an explanation of how she got here. It's like, oh, like 30 seconds, I'm in school, I see a weird tower that was never there before, suddenly I'm in this world. We continue the flip-floppiness of her character throughout this entire episode, which, even though it's acknowledged, like I said in the reaction, that doesn't actually, fix anything. Like, acknowledging within the canon of your episode or movie or game or whatever that there's a problem is not actually fixing the problem. Like, there can be occasions where it's like, oh, it's acknowledging it, so it's like it's very clearly meant to be weird like that or something like that. But that doesn't work when the problem is actively a disservice to your show. Her flip-floppiness is... It does not work. It's a bad character trait that does not work. It's just not good. It completely, for one thing, makes it impossible to connect with her as a character. It makes her seem almost I hate to say this, and I don't mean this in any like negative way, as someone who is mentally ill, it makes her seem like she has some kind of bipolar issue or something. It makes it come across as if like she's got some issues, and there's no evidence to support that theory. Outside of the fact that she just is so flip-floppy in terms of her personality and character that she doesn't have like any set personality. It's like it just goes back and forth between a few different types of them, and it's just like, what am I supposed to take from that? I genuinely don't get it. On top of that, you have this new girl who is like, oh, let's just make this edgy as fuck girl who's completely okay with killing, but let's also have her be a tsundere because, she's not a stereotypical one-dimensional character as it is. We have to make her even more stereotypical by making her tsundere, because any character like this has to be tsundere. And it's just, oh my god. There is potential in this series. The idea of the masks and the controlling, it being like a death game series, very Alice in Borderland style, there is a lot of potential here that unfortunately is squandered by extremely poor pacing, terrible dialogue and writing, a really bad main character, and so much more. Also, by the way, what the fuck was that one shot in this episode? She looks out the window, sees the crazy mask guy on the other side of the bridge. He looks up at her, she looks down at him, and there's these weird, like, romantic sparkles. What the fuck was that shot? Why was that shot? And then she just runs away screaming and for some reason goes out to the bridge where he's at. It's just like, what the fuck is happening? I am so fucking confused by everything that happened right there. Also, he has like this claw glove. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. And the only thing he does with it is slices open Mayuko's shirt, her top, so that her bra and everything is showing. Right after, by the way, it made a very notable point of showing the other girl crawling around with her panties showing under her skirt. And right after this guy is defeated, he asks to, like, you know, he wants to be pervy with these literal teenage girls. What, like, again, I've talked about it before. There's a lot of anime that does, like, pervy stuff with teenage girls, and it's fucked up. It's really bad. Anime is infamous for that. And usually it's just like a comedic fan service thing most of the time. But there's occasionally like shows or whatnot where it's used for really bad purposes. Where it's just a case of like, oh, we're going to sexualize underage girls just because we can. And it's even worse when they try to make it an active, like, part of the series. Where it's like, oh, this is actually important to the show. You know, we're going to take these underage girls, and them being sexualized is actually a major part of the show that, to the point where the series could not work without it. That's really fucked up. But this is a case where it's like, oh, they're just doing it for fan service, and it's not good fan service. It's not like I guess it's a really timely reference to make because I've been reacting to this again, but it's not like the fan service we saw in the most recent episode that I reacted to of Delicious in Dungeon, where it's Marcel and Fallon in the bath and everything. That is fan service done right. And I talked about it plenty in that reaction. But that is fan service that has a point. It has a canon reason to exist. It actively needed to be shown because it was part of the series. It's part of like what was happening before. Like it actually would have taken away from the series the plot and what was currently going on if it wasn't shown. It wasn't just shown to get people off. It wasn't just fan service for sexual gratification. It actually had a reason to exist that was a good reason to exist. It was still fan service. It was still, you know, there to be sexy, but it had a reason to exist within the context of the episode and series that made it work on a conceptual level. This is not that. The fan service in this is just, we're going to take underage girls and show off their panties, show off them in their bras, have characters constantly perv on them, and we're going to do it under the context of the characters who are perving on them and cutting up their outfits and stuff are bad guys. But we know that the real reason we're doing this is because we want to show off underage girls half naked and all because we're perverts. It's like, Jesus fuck. It's like this is almost as bad as Tamaki's fan service in Fire Force. I say almost as bad because Tamaki's fan service is probably one of the worst examples of fan service I've seen in anime. So it's like it's not quite on that level. but it's not that far away. It's really not. The difference is at least Tamaki's an adult. Like, there's at least that. These girls are underage. They're like, what, 15? It's like, that's fucked up. That's not okay. And again, that's not even like the only issue with this. If that was the only issue with this series, that would be one thing. But this series has so many goddamn issues. There's so many things wrong with it. So many problems, so many, like, things that just make it pretty much unwatchable. It's not even a so bad it's good kind of situation. It's so bafflingly bad. It's so unenjoyable to watch. Like, I don't watch this series and it's like, oh, I'm having fun because it's so ridiculously bad. It's kind of funny. No, I'm watching this and I'm just getting annoyed. I'm just like, I don't want to be watching this. I would rather be watching anything else. And it's like, that's not a good experience to have watching anything, especially as a reactor. If you're watching something and you're like actively not enjoying it to that degree, that's a problem. So I think it's pretty clear I'm dropping this. Again, if you like this series, if you can find good in it, that's awesome. All the power to you. You are entitled to that opinion. It's awesome that you can have that. I love that there might be people who love this series, even if just because it's so bad they find it enjoyable. I'm not one of those people, and I'm entitled to my opinion too. I can have my thoughts on it too. I don't like this. I'm not enjoying it. I'm having a bad time reacting to it. The first episode was bad. This episode was just as bad, if not maybe a little worse, because of the gun thing that just made no fucking sense. If not a little worse. It's like, I can't deal with that. Even if there's a chance that this gets better, I'm not going to force myself to sit through all of this shit just for a chance that it gets better. So, we're dropping it. It's just what has to happen here. So, that raises the question of, what are we going to do to replace it? Are we going to do a spin the wheel thing? Because, that's certainly an option, right? It's something that we have done plenty of times before. It's something that we've been doing a lot of lately, especially. We've been doing the randomizer wheel to determine what comes next. In fact, I believe that's what we did to get this. Because it was one of those that was just like, oh, this is something I want to check out. We're going to do a wheel of stuff that is just my choice stuff. Well, as you know, next week, this slot will be on Fridays. This is, like I said in the pre-thoughts, this is kind of the setup for that. While Batman and the replacement for Big City Greens will be on Wednesdays. We're switching those two slots around. So, the replacement for this, for High Rise Invasion, will be next Friday. And I've decided we're going to take a little moment away from the wheel because there's something I want to get back to. And I don't want to wait any longer. It's something that I've been wanting to get back to, and I just kept putting it off to get to other things and to do these randomizer wheels and stuff. It's something that I really want to get back to, so I'm just going to make the executive decision to get back to it. It's my channel, I can do what I want. So, next Friday, taking the place of High Rise Invasion and all, we are going to be returning to Season 2 of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It's been like 5 months, I think, since I put that on break. I was kind of waiting for the second half of the season to drop, and it still has not dropped. and there's no news on when it will. So I'm just deciding, you know what, we're just going to get to it. We have like 5 episodes left in the season, I think. Because I think there's 14 currently released, and the last episode we reacted to was 8. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 6 episodes. We have 6 episodes left. So it won't be a long return to this reaction series, unless at some point during this, the second half of season 2 comes out of nowhere. But yeah, we're gonna get back to this, and I'm very excited to do so. For those who don't know, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is a first impression continuation series, so we just have 2 first impression continuations on the channel for now. But we will get back to doing other stuff. We will be going back to doing more wheels. So no worries about that. But I just want to make the executive decision to get to this one again, because I've just been missing this series. I just want to get back to it, you know? So that's going to be what we're going to do. And again, we start that next Friday. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this second episode of High Rise Invasion. Let me know if you found it as frustrating as I did, or if you found some stuff to love about it. Legitimately, I'd love to know. And what do you think about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur returning next week? Let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.